You ever notice how some older men walk into a room and women instantly relax around them, while other guys walk in trying way too hard and somehow make the entire vibe feel like a job interview? Yeah, that difference usually comes down to communication. Not money, not looks, not even age. And here's the crazy part. A lot of women can tell within the first few minutes whether a man actually understands women, just by listening to the words he repeats naturally. Not pickup lines, not rehearsed alpha male nonsense. I'm talking about everyday phrases, tiny verbal habits that reveal confidence, emotional control, and masculine presence without screaming for attention. Because attraction, especially as you get older, stops being about performance. Women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, most of them have already met the flashy guy, the loud guy, the guy trying to impress everyone at the restaurant like he's auditioning for a reality show nobody asked for. What becomes rare is calm confidence. And there are 3 specific words older men use that quietly trigger that feeling in women. Not because the words themselves are magic, but because of the energy behind them. And once you understand this, your conversations instantly feel different. You stop sounding needy. You stop sounding like you're trying to win approval. And ironically, that's when women start leaning toward you instead of away from you. The first word is simple. Interesting. That's it. Not wow. Not you're so beautiful. Not that's amazing. Not acting like she just cured a disease because she likes sushi and hiking. Interesting. See, younger men often make this mistake where they overreact to everything a woman says because they think enthusiasm equals attraction. A woman says she likes traveling, and the guy practically falls off his chair. Oh my God, me too. We should totally go to Italy someday. Relax, Marco Polo. Older, confident men don't rush to impress. They stay grounded. They listen. And when something genuinely catches their attention, they respond calmly. Interesting. That word does something powerful psychologically. It communicates curiosity without desperation. It tells a woman, I'm engaged, but I'm not trying to sell myself. And women notice that immediately, because confidence is measured by emotional pacing. A man who can slow down a conversation instead of chasing it feels emotionally safe, mature, in control of himself, and honestly, that's rare now. Most conversations today feel like speed dating mixed with caffeine addiction. Nobody pauses, nobody listens, everybody's trying to prove something. So when a man calmly smiles and says, interesting, tell me more about that, it creates tension in the best way. Now she feels seen instead of evaluated. And here's where men mess this up. They think attraction comes from saying impressive things, but attraction usually comes from making someone feel emotionally comfortable in your presence. Huge difference. A woman doesn't remember every sentence you said. She remembers how she felt talking to you. Did she feel judged? Did she feel rushed? Did she feel like you were trying to get something? Or did she feel relaxed, feminine, and genuinely heard? That's what matters. And the word interesting works because it creates emotional space. Now, let's talk about the second word older, attractive men use all the time. Maybe. Oh, this one drives women crazy in the best possible way. Because maybe signals something modern dating desperately lacks: mystery. See, insecure men rush into certainty because they're afraid of losing the opportunity. They overtext, over-explain, over-commit immediately. A woman says, "We should grab dinner sometime," and he responds like he just won the lottery. Yes, absolutely. When are you free? I'm free Thursday, Friday, Saturday, next year, forever. Easy there, Romeo. Older, confident men understand something important. Desperation kills tension, and mystery creates emotional movement. So instead of instantly locking themselves in, they stay playful. We'll see. Maybe. That could be dangerous. I might consider it. Notice the energy? It's light, relaxed, unbothered, and women are deeply attracted to emotional steadiness. Not coldness, not games, not pretending not to care. There's a difference between being emotionally unavailable and being emotionally centered. Women can feel that difference immediately. A centered man is warm, but he's not chasing validation. He's not trying to force chemistry. He allows attraction to breathe and maybe subtly communicates that your life already feels full. You're choosing connection, not begging for it. That's powerful, especially for older men. Because one of the sexiest things about maturity is supposed to be emotional composure. But a lot of men lose that the second they're around a woman they like. Suddenly, they're acting like nervous interns trying to impress the CEO. And women feel the shift instantly. Here's the irony, though. The less reactive you become, the more magnetic you become. Because calmness creates curiosity, when a man doesn't immediately hand over all his attention, women naturally lean in more. Not because women love games, but because emotional confidence feels secure. Think about it this way. If somebody desperately needs you to like them within 5 minutes, your brain immediately asks, why? But when somebody enjoys the moment without pressure, you relax around them. That's human psychology. And older men who understand this become incredibly attractive because they stop trying to force outcomes. Now the third word is probably the most powerful one of all. Enough. Phew, this word changes everything. Because women are exhausted by men who constantly perform masculinity instead of embodying it. Men trying too hard to look successful, too hard to look dominant, too hard to look important. And deep down, it feels insecure. A confident older man understands the power of enough. He doesn't need to win every argument. He doesn't need constant female attention. He doesn't need to prove he's alpha every 7 minutes, like it's a subscription service. He knows who he is. And women feel incredibly safe around men who are internally settled. So when a woman apologizes for not texting back quickly, and he calmly says, "You're good, no worries," that's enough energy. When she asks if the restaurant is okay, and he says, "Honestly, this is perfect," that's enough energy. When life gets stressful, and he doesn't emotionally explode over every inconvenience, that's enough energy. See? Emotional regulation is seductive. A man who can remain grounded under pressure instantly stands out, because most people today are emotionally chaotic. And women don't just date your personality, they date your nervous system. If your energy constantly feels anxious, reactive, angry, or approval-seeking, she feels it, even if your words sound confident. That's why older men who genuinely become comfortable with themselves often become more attractive with age. Not because they magically became prettier, because they stopped performing, and women trust authenticity far more than performance. Now let me say something important here. None of this works if you fake it. Women are unbelievably good at detecting performative confidence. You can't say interesting while internally panicking for validation. You can't say maybe while desperately staring at your phone praying she texts back. And you definitely can't project enough if you secretly believe your worth depends on female approval. That's why real attraction starts internally. The words only reveal the mindset, they don't replace it. So, if you want women to respond differently to you, stop obsessing over tricks and start paying attention to your emotional state around women. Do you tense up? Do you start performing? Do you abandon your personality trying to become what you think she wants? Because that's the real issue for most men. Not lack of attractiveness, lack of groundedness. And honestly, women are craving grounded masculine energy right now more than ever. A man who listens, a man who stays calm, a man who doesn't emotionally spiral over tiny things, a man who can flirt without acting like he's negotiating a hostage release. That energy stands out immediately. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to become louder to become attractive. You usually need to become calmer, more present, more intentional, more comfortable with silence. Older men who master this become incredibly magnetic because they stop competing with everybody else. They stop chasing. And that's when women finally feel space to come toward them naturally. So next time you're talking to a woman, pay attention to your pace. You don't need to impress her every 30 seconds. You don't need the perfect line. Sometimes the strongest thing a man can communicate is emotional steadiness. Interesting. Maybe. Enough. Simple words. But behind those words is a man who isn't controlled by fear, urgency, or validation. And trust me, women notice that faster than you think. If this hit a little too close to home, good. That means you're paying attention. And honestly, most men never do. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me which one of these words you think changes conversations the most.